this is Ruth Chase, and I wanted to just go over very briefly how to frame your work when you're not sure how to frame your work, especially paintings and works on paper for either a museum or a gallery exhibit. So, with framing paintings, we often use something called a floater frame. And the floater frame is a frame that allows the painting canvas to sit in the bed of the frame so that the frame does not overlap the painting. This way, you're looking at just the work of art. And typically, you want the frame to not be decorative to the piece. There are exceptions, but as a default, we want it to be subtle and just, um, you know, finish off the piece, right? Not overwhelm the piece. So the other thing is there is something called uh, gallery wrapped canvas. I don't know if that's a term that is used widely, but when you are exhibiting painting on canvas, and you do a painting on a piece of canvas that's not very wide like this, right? You can see how narrow it is. We would never just hang that on the wall, ever. Not at least in the spaces that I work. I shouldn't say never because, there is no one rule for everything. But in general, we never hang work like this. It is, kind of has a cheaper look, and it isn't finished, even if you paint the edges. So there is something called gallery wrapped, and especially if you're working small, it might be too small to frame. And if you're not wanting to frame your work, you're going to want something gallery wrapped. And that's basically the depth of the frame, the painting canvas, is more than an inch. So an inch or more, maybe an inch and a quarter or more. But you can see that this is a little bit more chunky and it's got a finished look to it. The other thing is, some people like to paint the design or what they're painting around the edge. I don't prefer that with most work when I'm jurying or curating an exhibit. There's always exceptions. A lot of times, some galleries and museums really prefer a white edge. And what I often do is I pull a color out of the painting that is the least detracting, and I'll put it on the edge. And so there you go. And then on my work, I actually like the drips at the bottom, and then I'll give it a finish coat. For paper, the same thing goes. We're looking for a frame that is the least invasive, that it doesn't steal the show. You're looking at the work, and then you might look at the frame, right? So with paper, you always, this is an old piece of mine. You typically want a matte. I would even say bigger than this for this piece. And this frame is fine for this piece. It could be any color, but the width of the frame, this size, this piece could even use a smaller width. So just something that really goes away. So when you're looking at the work, you're literally just looking at the work. And then always on the back, you want it papered if you can. You want the hanger to be towards the top so that it lays flat on the wall. And I'll go over in another video other information you want to put on the back of your work. That is it. I hope that is helpful. If you have questions, please feel free to ask.